Hi guys, welcome back to the InHaus podcast. I'm Titus.
Noah.
I'm John. We realized we never introed, so we just want to let you guys know who we actually were.
This is us.
I'm sure you guys know, but
well, maybe they don't.
Maybe they don't.
We're pretty small still.
Yeah.
What is this, episode 4?
Episode
Yeah.
4.
Episode 4.
I was trying to do math in my head.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't do math in the morning, dude.
I think we already discussed that. Can't do math.
Did you guys hear that you're not able to do math really well when you're drunk? So like, that's how you like tell if somebody's drunk. It's like you ask them to do some math.
Dude, I'd be considered drunk 24/7.
Do math.
No, what's 2 plus 2? Cuffing boys.
That's too funny.
That's the new sobriety test.
Oh, that would suck.
I loved when I was in driver's ed, and there was like a fun day that we had where we like put on these drunk
classes,
and we played Mario Kart.
You played Mario Kart?
Yeah, when we did it in health class, they just put drunk glasses on us and we would just walk. I was good at football. But you could catch? I could catch. I was a wide receiver. Really? I don't know the science behind it. Big meaty claws. People always make fun of me because I got huge hands. I don't know if they make fun of me.
Sticking bear paws.
But they were good for wide receiver.
Holding hands with
Aww.
my girlfriend.
Aww. Brittany.
Oh.
Be on our show.
Yes.
We're gonna have Brittany.
She already said she would.
We're gonna have her soon. We're gonna have her.
We should have Brittany and Kate come on the show.
Okay, yeah, we can do that.
Sorry, no.
Don't be sorry. He's content. Well, I don't want to speak.
Oh yeah, we got a hot start this morning.
Speaking of football, what did you guys think of the Super Bowl?
I thought it was good. I wasn't super invested.
Dude, I was.
Were you?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is being recorded right after the Super Bowl happened. Like the morning after.
Shout out to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Shout out to the Chiefs.
Yeah, man.
What's the name of the guy you know on the team?
Number 56, Ben Neiman.
Shout out to Ben Neiman.
Sycamore alumni.
Come hang out on our show. That would be sick.
That would be cool.
That'd be cool.
I don't think he'll show up.
I don't think he will either.
But like, were you?
You'd be like, wait, you know me?
I went to school with you.
Wait, he didn't text you back, did he? That's the worst.
That
No,
sucks.
I'm not popular enough.
That's the worst.
Not popular enough.
It's okay. If I texted some guys from my high school, I don't know if they text me back either.
Yeah.
I don't. Do you guys still talk to anybody from high school?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Some people.
I don't know if I do.
Nobody?
Okay, maybe there's a few.
You scrapped? You were one of those guys that scrapped and started over?
I'd like, yeah, I mean, that's the thing is like, if you met me now and you met me back during high school, it's like you're meeting two different
Guys. Okay.
So
Fair enough.
that's the thing I don't like about high school is you're still figuring out so much stuff.
You
It's a
don't
good
like
learning
that?
process.
What's that?
It's a good learning process.
Yeah.
Kind of figuring out who you are and.
Are you still a kid in high school?
I think so. Yeah.
100%. I don't care if you're 18.
Did you feel like you were a kid in high school, or did you feel like you were an adult?
I think earlier on in high school, I felt more like a kid, but once I got to like 17, 18, that urge to get out of the house, and I was driving, I was working, making money, so I felt more like an adult.
Mhm.
But I think that aspect of like, you know, where you should be as an adult, responsibility-wise, and where I was, sure that line up.
I was dumb in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was definitely still a kid.
Yeah.
I'm still a kid, bro. I'm
Yeah.
almost 21.
Is that a good thing?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm not ready to be like a full. Like, I'm doing things that adults, like, I'm at the beginning stages of learning how big boy life works. But I think that Until you're like 25, like
You're not an adult.
you're not an adult.
Should we just move the age? From 18 to 25.
What makes you an adult?
Yeah, I was just gonna
What
say.
are the standards?
What makes you an adult, and is there a definitive like age to that? Is it an age or is it a concept?
So today we're talking about adolescence. I think.
We can tie it.
And we're going to talk about like what it means to be an adult, when you feel like an adult, just kind of from our perspective. Like we'll probably talk about when the first time somebody called you like sir, or like when somebody. If people haven't yet, that's cool too.
I just call people sir because like
Yes, sir.
I'm just like, what's up, sir? How's it going,
cool.
sir?
That's cool.
I think it'd be 12. What's up, sir? I don't talk to
That's good. That's good.
12-year-olds, but
Shout out to all the 12-year-olds listening to our podcast. We don't know if this is the right one for you.
We'll fix
but
it
we
in
appreciate it.
yikes.
Yeah, we'll talk about maybe moving out of your parents' house, what it looks like to be a man, stuff like that. So yeah, that's a good question. Like, what makes you an adult?
Yeah.
Right.
I know 30-year-olds who I wouldn't consider an adult.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not an age.
It's definitely, I would say, right off the bat, let's say this, it's not an age.
Okay. I would agree with that.
That's my opinion. There's probably people out there who are like, you're wrong.
So is it more of a responsibility?
Yes.
Or, okay.
I would say so.
Do you
And again, these are all opinions.
Right.
I don't want people coming at me like, dude, you're wrong.
Dude, everything on our podcast is an opinion.
Yeah, there's no facts here.
Dude, this is what I love.
Not a lot of facts.
There's some facts. Like
Groundhog Day.
dude, it was Groundhog Day yesterday.
That's a fact.
That was a fact.
It was a fact.
What do you know about Groundhog Day, John?
Dude, I found out yesterday that there's an actual groundhog.
You didn't know that?
I went through my entire life thinking that was all made up.
No, dude, that's real.
Like from the movie?
No. Forget the movie. I forgot about that movie a long time ago. But I didn't. I thought like everyone was like, oh, the groundhog saw a shadow, but there was never actually.
So there's a real groundhog.
Yeah, there's
Everyone was just like blowing smoke, and they were like, and he's got like an insane name.
Same.
I don't know. Like I heard it yesterday.
Bob.
Okay.
I heard it yesterday.
This just in from almanac.com.
Bro, you're out here already on that stuff. Fire.
Puxuwani?
Wow.
Wait,
Pux-
is there multiple groundhogs?
Puxuwani, I think.
I have no idea.
Dude, then Phil afterwards. So it's Puxuwani Phil.
Wait a second. Is there different groundhogs
I mean, well, he
for
died.
different states?
No.
No.
Like, bro,
It's just-
in Atlanta or in Georgia, the same place. Like, like that groundhog saw his shadow.
No, it's the same
Yeah, I think so. Do you know what the results were for this groundhog?
Yeah, he saw his shadow.
I'm looking for it. He's
Is that-
did he?
That means there's that supposedly spring's coming early.
Oh.
No, it's the same, right? It's like either spring is only 6 weeks away, right? Or there will be 6 more weeks of winter.
Oh.
So it's
So
like,
we got 6 weeks till spring, baby.
but
but
it's,
we
kinda
live-
the same, it's the same thing. You know what I mean?
But we live in the Midwest, so
Snow in May.
it's gonna.
According to researchers, the groundhog has accurately predicted the coming of spring only 39% of the time.
Dude, that's a pretty bad. Like you shooting free
Talk
throws
about
and you're
facts.
39%
So like
from the line.
you could guess, you know what I mean? If you're right, 35%.
Oh.
You got like a 50-50 chance.
2nd of May every year.
Dang.
And there's a lot of folklore behind it. We don't have to go into
What's
those.
that mean?
Like stories and
Folklore?
reasons and traditions
Folklore.
and
Folklore,
folklore.
Yeah.
full glory,
Folklore. Oh, it's 8 o'clock.
folklore.
Lore. Yeah, you got it.
What is that a thing?
Yeah. You know, like Paul Bunyan?
Mm-hmm.
By the way,
The sausage
he's a
guy?
man.
He is a man.
The sausage
Dude.
guy?
What makes Paul Bunyan a man?
Who's Paul Bunyan?
The sticking book, man, is writing.
So Paul Bunyan is like
The sausage guy.
No.
Look up Paul Bunyan. Look up a picture of Paul Bunyan.
I'm
ready right now.
I'm sure I know who this guy is.
I don't know how to describe him. He's like He's a folklore.
Bunyan. Wait, I thought folklore. Oh, dude, he's got like a spear and everything.
No, it's an axe, dude. It's not a spear.
Oh my gosh, this guy's gonna kill somebody.
He was just a regular.
Was he real? Or is this like a folk story?
Yeah, it's kind of that. That's
folklore!
Hey.
I low-key thought you were talking about Pilgrim's Progress, John Bunyan. You know that book?
John Bunyan.
Paul Bunyan.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Pilgrim's
I was like,
Who's the Bunyan with the sausage?
I don't know. I don't know who you're talking about.
Anyways.
You're gonna have to look that up on your own.
Do you guys feel like adults?
No.
Why?
It's hard. Okay, tell us why.
I think I answered too prematurely.
So you might. Okay, so I feel like kind of an adult. I moved out of my parents' house, right? Kind of like officially this spring.
How does that feel?
It feels good. It feels a little scary though, because like you know that there's like, that's like you're out. You know what I mean? And you could come back, but that's kind of like that would suck, right?
Yeah.
And it's like it's not that they don't love me or like they wouldn't love to have me back, but it's like it seems like a step backwards and like I couldn't make it, I couldn't do it. Like something happened and then I had to move back. Life circumstances, so that would suck. But I love my folks, and I was kind of like I thought I had moved out, right? But there, like I still had stuff there, and there's still this like not defined when Titus has moved out thing. So this past winter break, right? I had the conversation. I was like, yeah, like this is kind of me moving out, right?
You're like, peace.
And I kind of was like, hey, there's nothing else here that is mine, you know? And whenever I come back, it will be like just me visiting for a little while. It's no longer like coming back home. It's like me visiting your home
for like holidays.
Yeah,
dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, isn't that? So like that's the distinction I had to make with it. It's like this isn't my home anymore. Like this is yours, but I don't live here.
Yeah, this ain't my home.
Yeah, which is like scary because I still don't know where that. Like it's DeKalb kind of, but it's hard because I've only lived here for a few months.
Does DeKalb even feel like home?
It's starting to. I'm trying to make it feel like home, but.
Do you think when you graduate, you're out of here?
I don't know. I haven't decided that. Depends on where.
That's a big question.
Depends on where God takes me. But I feel like I was under the false premonition or whatever notion that I was a man, right? Like, but I was like staying in a dorm room, right, and like
eating the
ramen.
Ramen and dining hall food and whatever, right? So I kind of realized I was like, no, you're not really, and I'm kind of still realizing that,
for sure.
But I'm doing more
man stuff.
More man adult
Paying
stuff.
bills.
Is man stuff different than adult stuff?
Whoa.
In your brain?
Stuff. Adult stuff. Yes.
Okay. What's a man?
Here, okay. All right. Man stuff. This is just like what came to my mind right off the bat. Man stuff is like football, chopping wood, having fires, drinking beer, and having a cigar.
Coffee. There's coffee in there?
Yeah, for sure. Only men drink coffee. Well, no, women drink coffee too. But you know what I'm saying? Adult stuff is like pay the bills, drive the minivan.
Sure. More responsibility.
Yeah, more responsibility.
Has a family. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that.
What do you think, Noah?
I agree. Like, I don't know, man stuff just sounds kind of cheesy. Like,
Man stuff.
man stuff. And, you know, like, I'm going to drink beer and watch football and do all this stuff. But, I don't know.
I don't like that. That's awful.
Yeah. Like, I feel like adulting is more of a responsibility and doing the hard thing when no one tells you to do it. Integrity.
Doing what's right when no one's watching.
Right. Yeah.
Do you guys remember when those signs would be all over this?
Yes.
When you were homeschooled, I'm sorry. but like they had the signs all over the school, and it's like integrity, and it was like doing what's right when nobody else is watching.
Teamwork.
And you probably had that like your co-op. Your mom would write that on the fridge.
That's good.
No, I'm kidding, but
That would have been awesome. if you had parallel experiences, they were just like
your mom making the best effort she could so that Noah felt like he was a real boy.
You are a real boy.
You were a real boy.
Yeah.
You were a real boy.
See, that's the thing. Is like everybody's a kid or a boy by default, right? But like it takes something to be a man or to be an adult, right?
Yeah.
So that's
like if you're 30 and you're eating Doritos, drinking Mountain Dew, and
Are you a
playing
man?
video games in your mom's basement,
Are you a
bro,
man?
you ain't a man.
Are you an adult?
Okay, you're a man. You're a man, but you're not an adult.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Not to be confused with a male.
Yeah.
That's a different distinction.
This is some big stuff.
This is big stuff. This is important. Good conversation topic, boys.
All right. So, like, Noah, talk to me a little bit because we just heard from Titus. Like, what are your thoughts? Like, what are you thinking? What's on your mind?
Are you moved out?
You're moved out.
Okay.
Mhm.
You're here. You're going to
in-
school.
You're in my house right now.
Yeah, we are.
So
We're in your house.
it's kind of cool. Yeah, I think. Gosh, it was sometime last year in 2019 when I kind of brought the conversation up to my parents, and
Mhm.
I've always wanted to move out, or I have wanted to since I was like 14.
Mhm.
I think that desire of just like going out, treading the untreaded path or whatever, and
Taking the
Two
path
roads
less traveled.
diverged in the
yes.
yellow wood.
Is that Greg Frost?
yeah.
It's Robert.
Robert Frost.
dude.
Is that
Bro,
Greg?
I was so close.
My guy Greg.
All right, sorry.
You're fine. But yeah, I think it wasn't until this year where I brought it up to my parents again, and they considered it and prayed about it and things, and they're like, yeah.
They were pretty defiant at first, right?
A little bit, yeah. I think just as the oldest, like me moving out is a big deal, and they've never had a child move out, so it's just completely new and
Yeah.
interesting. So, yeah, it's been good. I've enjoyed kind of the freedom and the responsibility that has come with having your own place. Taking care of it.
Shoveling on the sidewalk.
Yeah, that's not so much. That not so much.
Shit, I don't think we own a shop.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
We own a bunch of hose.
We literally have like 3 or 4 hose in our
That's fine. Gardening.
gardening tools. But yeah, it's been good. I've enjoyed it, and there hasn't been really that clear I think it's just assumed that I've moved out. I'll gladly come and visit and stuff, but
It's real.
it's real and it's fun and I enjoy it. That's all uphill from here.
See, that's true. That's kind of sucks. Is that sad? Do you see retirement as a downhill? Because I kind of
No, dude, I see
You don't?
retirement retirement.
You're not
Honestly,
going to retire.
I think I'll always be doing something.
Sure. Sure.
I would love to write as I'm when I'm older or something like that. Yeah, I see old age and retirement as pouring into other people and
Sure.
living life. And I don't know, just kind of a very blissful,
Sure.
peaceful,
Okay.
chill.
So what do you mean by uphill then?
Yeah.
You say it's all uphill from here. Because I see that as the grind. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you gotta.
do
I mean, no, definitely there's truth to that, right? Uphill, dude, now that you're on your own, you're living in your own place, you really are
You gotta take
you
care
said
of it.
you still visit your parents, but you're really doing your own thing. I would say that's uphill because now it's not completely up to you. You have men in your life, you have people in your life who are
Right.
helping you and
Right.
guiding you, but it is up to you now to really be all right, I gotta make sure that my bills are paid. I gotta make sure that I'm getting my work done. I gotta make sure that I'm providing for myself, right? That could be considered an uphill battle because now it's up to you to really decide because I know for me, my parents are always oh, now that you're out of the house, it really is on you. We'll help you out and we love you. But you really you're becoming an adult. You're
Yeah.
becoming an adult, and so it's up to you. So
That's scary.
that's how I view uphill battle. But
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what you meant.
Isn't well, yeah, I meant it as it will be a struggle and it will be a grind to some extent. However, I'm all for it.
It's fun.
Yeah,
You know,
for
it's
sure.
life.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
It should never be like, I mean, at times it'll be stressful, right? But it should never be this thing that's like 90% of the time it's burdensome.
Right.
Like there should be fun in it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's something that I've always kind of wanted to do. Being my own, excuse me, being my own person and, you know, creating my own path, forging my own way.
Create your own path.
Create your own path at wizardsofwaverlyplace.com. But yeah, I think it'll be fun.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what the Lord does.
Man. So if you don't feel like a man, or if you don't feel like an adult, or if there's any,
feel like a man.
I still feel like you made. We're so.
I don't know what's going on.
John
Mayer.
Mayer.
John Mayer.
John Mayer.
I don't know that one. I guess.
So good.
But if you feel that gap, right, between adulthood and you, or like manhood and you, what is it? Like, what makes you that, right? So, like, for me,
Wait, what?
I see myself like as a man, right?
That long, luscious hair. You
Oh,
always
yeah.
for sure.
I gotta cut this before
No.
I'm an adult, though.
No way.
Yeah, you're definitely
Keep it
still a
growing.
boy.
Yeah.
You
as long
are.
as I have long hair, there's not an adult. But
if you still,
what?
if you still have long hair,
You're still a
I'm
boy.
You're still a boy.
That's real. But like for me, adulthood is like having a career. You know what I mean? That's not necessarily manhood. You know what I mean? Because I think you can. I don't know. I think you can be a man and be in college, but
Yeah.
adulthood is like having a career and a stable living situation and like living that way. You know what I mean?
so, and I could be wrong.
Okay.
But are you saying that if you don't have a career, you're not an adult?
Well, what do you define as a career? I'm just talking like.
Career to me is like, I'm in this,
Yeah.
and I'm in this for a while. There's a difference between a job and a career, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're
Sure.
like you worked at Chipotle, like
That's a job.
That's not your career. That's not what you want to do, but you did it to
Yeah.
make money. And like me, I clean cars, but
Mhm.
that's not my career.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I think there's that difference. So
I
you're
think-
saying if you're not in your full like career yet, then you're still. And like I said, I could be misunderstanding you.
Yeah,
completely.
no, that's a good question though, because like the jobs I've worked so far, right, I see as like those aren't like adult jobs,
Right.
They're like coffee shops.
For sure, you're just chilling.
They're just chilling, you know what I mean? And I'm working, I'm making money, but they're not like adult jobs.
Right.
But like I've worked alongside adult aged people in those jobs, you know what I mean? That was their job.
And maybe that's their career.
Maybe that's their
they're
career, you
all
know?
for it.
So I don't know, maybe it's a mindset thing, right?
How's that been, like, working besides adults who this might be their career, and, like, was there a difference in mindset? Was there a difference in work ethic?
I don't know. I think there's a difference in end goal or expectancy, right? I saw, like when I was working in Eau Claire, Caribou Coffee, I was working on like regular, like as many hours as I could get, you know what I mean? 5 days a week, right? And I loved it, but I saw it as a transition or a like building period until I could go do something else, right? But I was working alongside people that were trying to like, here's what it is.
Okay.
They were trying to like move up,
Right.
right?
For sure.
And that's like a career-minded drive, right? Whereas I was content, like just taking out the trash and
Yeah.
like making coffees for people. You
Oh, I get you.
Um,
For sure.
so I think it's a mindset thing. It's how long-term you see yourself there. Because if it's your career, you see yourself there or some other part in that company for a long time, or in that field maybe.
Yeah.
But if it's not a career, then you could be still a kid, right? Or not an adult. Yeah, so I think I'm close, but I'm not quite there yet. We'll see.
Yeah. It's kind of a gray area, especially like these days.
It is.
That is
Especially
like
these
another
days.
question, like how have we as a society changed, and as people like our age are kind of rising up and, you know, flowing into that adulthood mindset, careers, etc., etc. Like, how has that changed from maybe previous generations?
Good question. John.
Dude. I think that's totally changed. Like, if you talk to my grandpa, like, he'll tell you, like, you kids, you have it. He doesn't talk like you kids, you have it so easy.
Right.
Like, you look at the way that even like you can't talk nowadays about this generation without just throwing social media in there.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
feel like
That's true.
Like, you have people who film YouTube videos and make millions of dollars.
Or film podcasts and don't make any money yet.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that.
Too soon, Titus.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm kidding. But like, then you have people who are out there working factory jobs, like for 12 hours a day, busting themselves.
And those people can be the same age, right?
Yeah.
In our generation.
And it's like, one is making so much more money than the other, and then like, but then that can cause the view of like that guy who films the YouTube videos and the guy who works the factory job, like, are different. Am I making sense?
Yeah. So like, money, neither age nor money deems whether you're an adult or not.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Because you could be. Like,
I hope I'm making sense.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like it was a rambling thing.
No, you're okay.
Cool.
You're okay. So like, there could be like a literal child who's on YouTube making millions of dollars.
Dude, there's like 7-year-olds who are like, dude, here's a tour of things that are in my room: lamp, desk, TV.
Yeah.
They get like 1 million views, and they're out here making big money.
It's nuts. It's crazy.
And then you got that dude who's like working 3 jobs to provide for his family.
Yeah.
That's like, we kind of,
There's something skewed there.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's hard.
No one cares about your desk, Lisa.
Did you watch the video?
Dude, I don't know. I haven't seen it. I'm just saying I know it's out there.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But yeah, I think like, so that brings us back around. So like, adulthood, we know kind of what makes a man, right? I mean, there's a lot of like
Scriptural things.
Sure. There's a lot of scriptural things. There's a lot of like vague things that you could attribute to manhood, right? That somebody else couldn't. We can talk about that a little bit, right?
Vegas.
Yeah, these two had a conversation outside of me.
Well, kinda. I don't even remember what all we talked on.
Yeah, I think we just kind of flowed into it.
So like, there are adults nowadays
Okay.
that are males, right? That you wouldn't necessarily attribute any of the chopping wood, football, stuff.
I'm not one of those dudes.
Right. You're not one of those
Me
dudes.
neither, man.
I like chopping wood, but like
Chopping wood, it can be
chopping wood
super
can be super
therapeutic.
cool.
I watch sports.
But then there are people that are like not that way at all, right? Like the opposite, and they're still a man,
For
right?
sure.
So what do we distill that down to?
I think, like, you really, like, ultimately you got to look at it biblically.
Sure.
And it's like, what is the view of a man who loves Jesus, who
Right.
walks with the Lord?
Yeah.
Right? Because
You
you had
have your family
Right.
too, right? That's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Proverbs.
Proverbs.
It's like packed with stuff.
Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know. Everyone's going to have a view. Everyone's going to say something. But
Yeah, I can't remember.
you looking up something?
Yeah, I have like vague little bits and pieces of the Proverbs in my head, but I can't remember like any specific passages. But yeah, I don't know.
Here's a thought: 4 qualities that make a man. And this is just from like a random Google search to a random website that I'm not going to name or mention.
So this
number
is,
one.
what's like this isn't like biblical, or this is
No,
like,
this is just like a
completely
blog
like-
post. I literally searched in, I think, what makes a man? Yeah.
Dude, you're getting so many different answers.
That's true. That's real. But I'm just saying, like, this is what the world thinks, at least, right?
Right.
Number 1, men respond. Someone who.
Oh, I got a list after you.
Discipline, patience, maturity. So that's all the respond one. A reaction is instinctual. Boys react, men respond. Number 2, men look inward first. They're willing to examine their own defects. They practice transparency, and they move forward changed. Number 3, men have a cause, something worth fighting for. Whether it's one's character or an empire, men build. Boys deconstruct. Sorry about that. Number 4, men take action. Boys complain.
Yeah. I mean,
Men take action.
All right, I got something for you. So that's like
just a regular Google search, worldly. What does the world think of men?
mhm.
Didn't list football or beer, which is
Right.
good. I appreciate that.
That is good. So I got like a biblical view of
Shoot.
manhood.
Do it, please.
And the 5 are: a man controls his emotions and passions. A man provides for his family.
Yeah.
A man protects his family.
Yeah.
A man serves and leads his family. So you can see this is very
Yeah.
family based.
Right.
And then 5, a man follows God's design for true masculinity.
Mm-hmm.
I was really trying not to butcher that.
Lenny.
Masculinity.
Yeah. I'm kind of looking at some like verses, 1 Corinthians 15:58. Therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, stand firm. Let nothing move you. Always give yourselves fully to the work of the Lord, because you know that your labor in the Lord is not in vain.
That's right.
Be on guard. Stand firm in the faith. Be courageous. Be strong. Submit yourself to elders. Clothe yourself in humility towards one another. Be humble.
That's real.
Sit down.
Sit down. What have you read that? Like
Sit down.
All of a sudden-
Sit down.
Have you heard of the Mandela effect? Right, where like something
yeah.
wasn't there in history. But
Howie
it's there
Mandel?
now. No, Mandela. Like as in Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So like everybody thought he died, but then like a news article came out and it like there was this big news thing. It's like, oh, Nelson Mandela died today, right? And everybody's like, what? I thought he already died. So it sparked this whole thing where basically the Mandela effect is people think, I don't live this, but people think there are alternate universes, right? And if you think something should have happened or think you remember something happening differently, but then you look it up, or like in today's universe it's changed,
Mhm.
that's because like part of you was in that other universe or whatever. So what if like in the Bible, stay with me here. What if it was like,
You're like this close to losing this. So that's,
what if it was like, be humble, right? And then like the Mandela effect happened, and right before it said sit down,
That would be pretty
be humble,
sweet.
that'd be nuts. But that's not real.
that was the longest setup
I'm sorry.
for the stupidest
I'm
joke.
sorry. But the Mandela effect is real.
That's true.
It's not real, but like it's a real thing that people believe.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you.
Interesting.
I'm giving you a hard time. I like track. That was pretty funny.
I know.
Kinda.
It's okay.
Not really.
Your headphones are kind of funny.
I look goofy, but hey,
You
this
do
keeps me
not.
from yelling
You do not.
and giving this man an easier time to edit. So.
This man. Shout out to Noah.
Yeah, you're a freaking man, bro.
Woo!
You're a man child.
Shout out for. Oh, that's an interesting thing we can talk about in a second. Shout out.
Yeah, right.
Oh my gosh. We're
Shout
going
out-
everywhere this
wait,
morning.
Wait. Shout out to Sarah Close for
Yeah.
doing our logo stuff.
Yeah,
Shout
that's so
out
cool.
to
Josh Hansen for the intro.
Josh Hansen for the intro video.
Shout out to
So many people all you guys for lovely
Yeah,
support.
shout out to our supporters.
shout out to our supporters. Shout out to Kuroko Coffee for this delicious coffee.
Kuroko
Yeah.
Coffee. We're drinking
The
Kuroko.
local blend.
That was good stuff.
Good
We've
stuff.
been bragging on that all week.
We have
It's been so fire.
because we got that 2-for-1 deal.
Oh,
And
that's
we've been
fire.
drinking that up.
It was really, really good.
Shout out to
Nobody else. That's all the
sorry.
Shout out to the Lord.
Shout out the Lord.
Amen.
Okay,
For
so
salvation.
those are the characteristics of a biblical man, right?
Right.
But can you be a man outside of Christianity?
I think you
Yeah.
can be a man, but
Do you think there's some overlap there of the characteristics?
sure. You can be humble and not,
Not a Christian.
Yeah, there's yeah, that's good.
but you know, to what extent,
Sure.
to what cause,
To
to
what
not
end?
humble in the Lord, and have that foundation, like
Right.
it's all rubbish if Vanity of vanities.
This is something I'd love to have RT back for.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like he's talked to me about this numerous times through just conversations about like future and like things that like I'm considering and like think like leadership within the church, right? Like like within the church, if you're a leader, like there's a standard.
Yeah, you gotta be a man.
Yeah,
You should probably be an adult too, right?
for sure.
That's
Yeah.
real.
And so, yeah, I think Noah hit it right on the head when you say that you can't be like there's going to be characteristics of what a man is supposed to be and how he does things, but like without the Lord, there is this gap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
that's true.
That's fire, Noah.
Oh, that's
You're
fire.
preaching this morning, bro.
Are you-
Getting my preaching on.
Do you think you'll ever feel like you're at that adulthood point or that manhood point? And do you think anybody does?
I think I will always be 12 at heart. So.
Baseline, 12 years old.
Yeah. I don't know. I think life has an interesting way of
Giving you lemons.
giving you lemons. Yeah.
What do you do with that?
You make lemonade.
That's right.
You throw them at old people.
Yikes.
No, respect your elders.
No.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think sometimes, or not sometimes, but just throughout life, like you're never fully at like I'm a good Christian or I've like reached the pinnacle of my faith or I've reached the pinnacle of my manhood or whatever. Like it's always just a progressing flow.
Yeah, like I'm more of a man than I was 6 years ago.
Right. But there's always growth. There's always something that you could be working on because we are sinful and fallen.
Come on, brother. Come on.
I remember I was in Shields. That's like a sporting goods store. And some dude walked by and said, "Excuse me, sir. You're doing okay?" And I don't know what I was wearing, if I was standing up straight or what, right? But I can remember, like, no, I was.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Hey, ma'am.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, sir.
No, but I didn't have long hair back then, so that couldn't have been it. But like, I was in there, and like he called me sir, and I like didn't know who he was talking to because I assumed it wasn't me because I didn't see myself like
For sure.
as a sir title,
Right.
And then he said it a little louder, and I turned around, and he's like, "You finding everything okay?" And I was like, "Oh yes, thank you."
Yes, thank you.
Right, thank you. But like that was like a moment that I can remember that was like, oh, that's like real. And then like not 2 weeks later, right? Somebody's like, "Hey buddy, how you doing?" or whatever. I was like, I'm back down there.
I can't stand when people call me buddy.
You don't like the buddy?
I hate it.
I think
Oh,
people,
you little buddy.
I hate it
people
so
have
much.
some people have a very adverse reaction to that.
Especially when like you're my age or like we're like very close in age and you're like, "Oh, what's up, buddy?"
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, dude, I'm literally your age.
People mean it as
God,
like pal.
This messes me up so bad.
I can tell.
This is one of my biggest, like when you call me buddy, I want to be like inside, I'm like, call me buddy.
Hey, if I ever call you buddy, just say something. Hey, bro, don't call me buddy.
Dude, like,
Because I don't mean it as like degrading, right?
I know 100%, but like sometimes people text me, they'll be like, I'm not gonna name names, but like I have this person in my life who texts me. He's always like, "On my way, buddy." I'm like, dude, I am your age.
He means it as like pal,
Yeah.
right? He means it as like
I don't think so.
friend.
I mean,
I think so. I don't know who this person is.
It's fine.
I would assume I've got a friend, more of an acquaintance, but he's every single time he's like, "Hey, buddy," like because that's just how he addresses everybody.
Don't call me buddy. That's the moral of this story.
Got it. Don't call Charlie.
Crap. No, it's just gonna walk around the house. Be like,
What's up, bud?
"What's up, bud?" Bud it. Oh my gosh, we're pushing buttons this morning. Bud is almost worse than buddy.
so,
Yeah.
like, why?
I don't know. In high school, people would always call me bud, and I was always like, "Listen, bro, if you do not stop calling me bud, I am gonna get real angry.
Does it make you feel like a boy
I think it makes me feel small.
and not a man?
Yeah. Which is stupid when you step back and you're like, really, bro? You're gonna get that mad?
It's kind of silly.
It's so dumb, but it's real, you know.
So, when you guys grow up and you have kids, right, and they get to some kind of age, right?
After we stop calling them bud.
What?
After you stop calling them
After you
bud.
stop calling them.
I'm gonna call my kid buddy all the time.
So like, if the Lord blesses you with kids, or like if you adopt, or like God blesses you with adoption, whatever happens.
Boom. Adoption.
Boom, adoption. Do that. What do you like? Are you gonna be those parents that like kick their kids out at 18?
No.
Or are you gonna be those parents that like
Well.
make them pay rent if they're still staying there when they're 18?
Shoot. Good question.
I know.
I could talk to you guys for days about this thing.
What's our runtime right now?
Like 40 minutes.
Hey,
Oh, okay.
we'll keep this one's gonna be longer, and all
Or
those
we can
people
split
who are
it.
like, your episodes are too long.
We could always split it.
So
We
I
could go to
can-
9 o'clock, and then split it into 2. What time's your first class?
11.
Oh, mine's at 9:30.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah,
Anyway.
So, I guess to answer your question, like, I don't know, I liked how, I mean, I definitely like how my parents modeled that for me. Where, like, they weren't, you know, like, my dad always is like, oh, so, like, when are you coming home and, like, moving back and gonna live with us again? And, like,
Wait,
you know,
he says that?
yeah, like, he genuinely misses me being around and stuff. And
That's nice.
yeah, enjoys me hanging around. But I think like if I ever have kids or whatever, like, you know, once they start getting like close to college and if they choose to go or not to go, like it really depends on the situation. And I think lovingly, maybe I would challenge my children to like, yeah, get a job, like start working, saving, potentially investing or whatever, thinking about like future super long term, like when you're 65 or something in retirement. But I wouldn't, you know, necessarily like you're 18, get out, like fend for yourself. I think I'd always, like it would be my goal, and I think this is what my parents do really well, is like they're always there, but they're not like like surrounding me or you know, they're not like fully withdrawn either. So I think I would do that.
Here's a good question.
Sure.
Where, I mean, I don't want to cut you off.
No. Go for it.
Is there anything that you are, and I want to word this. Is there anything that you are going to, like, say the Lord blesses you with kids?
Sure.
Is there anything that you're going to instruct, encourage, inform them, like, hey, do this, because you, like, wish that you right now would have done does that, like, is there anything right now that you wish you would have done better, and you're going to make sure that your kids don't make the same mistake that you made? In a sense, that's the question. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Go for it, Titus. You have something?
Yeah, I mean, like, there is stuff that I would change, but it's hard for me to say, like, so, like, I'll definitely tell my kids, right, things that I would change,
For sure.
but I know some of it, like, the minor stuff, right, it's going to be something they have to figure out, right, and I know, as much as adults tell you things sometimes,
They're wrong.
sometimes it's still, like, experientially based.
Right, for sure. That's for sure.
And I think that with every generation that adult comes, you know what I mean? Every generation of adults that like try to instruct and they're like, oh yeah, because I remember I did this wrong, right? So you have to, but like every generation, right? There are certain things that like people just keep learning, like by their own experiences, right? Like dating to a certain extent, right? Like you can always try to instruct, right? But there are always going to be like differences, and that's like a very personal thing, right? So I think that's big.
Dating's a whole nother ballgame.
Dating's a whole nother ballgame. Yeah, and like just other simple life stuff, right? Like I would encourage my kids to get a job, right? But there's something kind of inherent about that drive, right? Sometimes
For sure.
that like I had that I don't know if a couple of my sisters have. But you know what I mean? Like there's some stuff that they have to like either muster up or know or learn themselves, and like it doesn't matter how much I'll say it to them.
Right.
So yeah, some things, but not like everything. You know.
For sure.
What about you?
I think like one thing that I'm really going to inspire my kids to do is spend their time wisely. Because I think there's so many times in my life, and even now still it's something I struggle with, is like we often create our own busyness.
Mm-hmm.
Like I always tell people I'm so much busier than I am.
Right.
Because like there's all this list of stuff that I could do but don't have to get done.
Right.
And I think a lot of times I waste time on stupid stuff that really, in the scheme of things, like yes, it needs to get done.
Sure.
But me putting off certain things to do certain things is, at the end of the day, it's harmful and it's
Sure.
gonna like ruin, I don't know. But like I would just tell my kids like, hey, like truly invest in your time.
Yes.
And don't let it become something that you are just like, you become like passive
Passively,
with.
yeah.
Passive
Right.
with.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, really examine, is this worth my time?
Sure.
Am I pouring into others? Am I getting poured into?
Sure.
Am I investing? Am I also resting?
Mm-hmm.
Resting is a big thing. We can always say that we're so busy that we don't have time to rest, when at the end of the day, we're just like, we are.
Right.
We're
We're
you know
just
what I'm saying?
looking at Snapchat
Like,
videos ago.
Right.
yeah. I don't know.
That's me.
Time.
That's another conversation we should have, is like the art of saying no and essentialism.
Yeah.
I love that.
Have you read that book, Essentialism?
Yeah, I have. I finished it.
But you're still probably the busiest one at this table.
You are the busiest one at this table.
Why?
Yeah,
I
Noah.
don't know, dude. There's so many things that I want to do.
What's
That's
your favorite
okay, that's
two-letter
fine.
word?
That's good.
Huh?
What's your favorite two-letter word?
I and if.
Poo.
It's.
Poo is a three-letter word.
Just pee up.
Just Peter.
I also just yelled in the mic, so that's fine.
That's alright.
He's like, it's fine, add it to the list of stuff I gotta do.
Just
Right.
add it.
Yeah. I don't know. What was the question again?
What is your favorite two-letter word?
That's not it.
Oh,
No, like, you've read Essentialism, right? I don't know if I have or not. I think my dad owns it.
Okay.
It impacted you. You think it's good, right? You still do a lot of stuff, right? More than you want to, or the amount that you want to. Are you content?
is there anything you'd change? That's basically what he meant when he said, "Are
I
you
mean,
content?"
I would, if I could change anything, it'd be the amount of time in the day. Like, I'd love
Oh,
to.
you can't change that.
I know. I wish
Be
I could.
real with me, Noah. Come
If I
on.
could change anything, it would probably be.
Don't like rat anybody out though.
Yeah, don't like
Don't be
throw
like,
anybody.
Hey,
under
I'm
the
doing
bus.
this thing right now.
This
and I'm gonna
podcast freaking sucks.
Yeah, no, I think it's just like maybe some of the minor things that, like, in the moment I was like, yeah, that sounds like a super cool idea. And then in the long run, it's just like, I didn't see it as, okay, it's this amount of time, it's.
He's talking. He's talking.
No, no way.
Guys, next week
No, it's
there
not.
might be
not
two of us at this table.
Yeah, I don't know.
Dennis is like, I'm not completely turned off of that idea.
I love you here, but I know I just like see like how much you're doing. You know what I mean? And that's like that I heard for you.
Oh,
You know?
thanks.
I hurt for you, but I'm
Dude,
also like, bro, you did it to yourself. No, I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
no,
I'm
I
kidding.
did, yeah.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
That's true.
I love you,
Oh,
and I
oh,
think
me too.
I see you and how hard you work, and I love that. Like, I appreciate like the work that you do. I also know rest is important, but I also see your drive and your will to want to do things and please people, which is good. But yeah, dude,
Oh,
just gonna encourage you with that. Like,
thanks, dude.
work hard. and do it all for the Lord.
Yeah.
Never let it be.
Colossians.
Yeah, dude.
3:23.
3:23.
Whatever you do, work at it as if working for the Lord.
Right?
Is
Like,
that
I don't give a crap.
I actually don't know if that's the right
if
verse.
the podcast is edited and then none of it was for like the Lord. If it was all just like, oh, John has to have this. Like, no, dude.
Yeah, I got that verse right. I just wanted to
There
make
you
sure.
go.
I didn't want to be
Scripture memory. That's something I need to work on, the scripture memory.
Add it to the list.
That's
Yeah.
not right. That's
Because-
been something that God's really grown my heart over recently, actually, is committing scripture to memory. Because, like, it's hard for me, well, it's hard for anybody, I would imagine, but when you're, like, in the middle of a temptation or you're in the middle of something hard, right, to, like, go and open your Bible, you know what I mean? Like, just getting there is hard.
There's more shame than
Right. And there's more, like,
freedom.
yeah, there's more, it seems begrudging, right? It seems hard. So if you have those, you know, then you're like, no.
It
Yeah.
almost seems like cheesy in a way. Like it shouldn't be cheesy, but it's like,
yeah, it shouldn't be cheesy.
oh shoot, I don't know, for example, like I want to get plastered right now. I'm gonna go read my Bible. Like
Right,
it
yeah.
seems cheesy, but it shouldn't. And I think that's the world kind of,
Yeah,
you know, distorting that.
right, for sure.
You know, it is good getting into the Word and using
Oh,
that as
taste
your
and
own.
see.
That the Lord is good.
Oh, we can't sing on our podcast. I forgot that I was mic'd up, but for just like half a second. That's okay.
But yeah, I would say on that long list of things that you have, to both of you and to myself included, because I know we're all busy men,
All this, man.
scripture should never take the back seat.
Amen.
Were you gonna try to drink my coffee?
I was just checking if you guys had any left. I was just really
Titus is out here just like,
I was just really curious if you had any left.
no, bro. I finished it within the first 5 minutes. Of
I wanted to
the podcast.
see in the race, in the coffee race, where I landed. We should make that a thing.
Coffee race.
Weekly coffee races.
Yeah. You don't have to actually race. But like
Oof.
we could just see where we match up.
Okay.
That would be
Dude,
interesting.
that coffee
And
was
then
so
you like
fire.
turn it upside down.
Okay.
Something like that.
Another.
This coffee or a different coffee?
I
This
think
coffee.
he's talking about this coffee. Yeah.
Loco.
Another.
Another.
So to end us off, where do you see?
Send us off.
Send us off. Full send.
FSU.
Don't do that.
Yes.
Full Send University. You know who you are. You know who you is.
Okay. I did not need to see that. Where do you guys see, like, are there
Yourself.
different qualities or different responsibilities that you need to pick up or work at in order to lessen the gap between boyhood and manhood?
Oh
Boyhood and manhood, maybe not as much. Just because, well, yes, boyhood and manhood. I want to be in a different spot spiritually than I am right now, you know. But I also wonder how much of that is like the always thing that you talked about,
Right.
you know. But I don't see myself quite as a spiritual man, and maybe some of that is linked to like the family stuff too. Is like, can you really be a spiritual man if like you're not leading a family, you know? And I don't know if that's an accurate question or not.
Right.
I think so.
But yeah. So there's some things that like I know I'm not there yet. But adulthood, I feel like I'm close. I'm really
Yeah.
close. I don't know.
Cool.
But that
Paul
might be
was a
something.
spiritual man.
Paul was a spiritual man. He wasn't leading a family.
Yeah.
He was leading the body of Christ.
Yeah.
We all want. You're all my family. Vin Diesel. You're my family.
And if you can be I don't know.
Fast and Furious.
Oh my gosh.
Gee.
No.
F9 is coming out soon with John Cena.
Fast 9, dude?
Yeah, they need to stop.
I haven't seen the others.
I haven't seen Fast 1, 2,
It's a man movie.
4, 5, 6.
Is it?
I don't know.
How about you, John?
Yeah, I don't know if this is boyhood and manhood. I think it's definitely a big part of it. And this is one thing the Lord's been like pressing on me through others and through just like prayer and stuff like that. And that's the idea of taking responsibility in every area of life, right? For your actions, in your household, with your relationships, with all of it, it's easy to kind of shove it off to the side. You know?
Sure.
Someone else will do that.
Sure.
Or, oh well, that wasn't me. Like I didn't do that, so like don't come and talk to me about it. Or like in your relationship, be like, oh, the other person will take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know. But really, like I think there's something to be said about taking responsibility and being super intentional, and that'll just grow your desire to be a man, and it'll become less of like a burden. I feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times it can be a burden to take responsibility, which is sucky.
That's the epitome of responsibility.
Yeah, and like that's the epitome of it. But yeah, even something as simple as like cleaning up the house.
Cleaning up the honey from the cabinet.
Oh my God!
Nice.
Oh Jesus!
Welcome to Call Out Session.
Oh shoot!
I'm your host Titus Williams. Today we're in Noah and John's house.
Yeah, we live together, and there's times where it's like, man, I really wish you'd take responsibility for this. And that's you to me. That's not me to you.
That's anybody you live with,
Anyone,
though,
yeah,
right?
anyone really.
And I
When
think
you're married, that will probably happen.
Oh, 100%. You should ask Brittany. We're not married.
I was gonna say, whoa.
No, we're not married, but like especially like you and Kate, right?
Sure, yeah.
There's things in your relationship that you got to take responsibility for.
Sure, that's real.
And if you're not, that relationship isn't going to be like working super well. If I'm like, oh, Brittany, you take care of all this, and I'm just going to sit over here and do my own thing.
That's not being
What's
married.
going to happen? I'll tell you what's going to happen.
You gonna break up?
Yeah, it's not going to work out.
Yeah.
So like just that big overarching idea of taking responsibility for your actions.
Yeah.
That was a long answer.
That's good.
But,
That's good. That's real.
you know, I think there's someone out there. I don't know who. I'm not really thinking of anybody. but
Someone out there.
Someone out there needs to hear that. Like,
That's right.
take
That's for
responsibility for you. And I might be preaching to myself right now, but like,
Maybe you're gonna watch back through that. You're gonna be
I'm gonna be like, dude, he was talking.
That
to me.
somebody is
John.
saying-
You're a freaking genius. What about you, Noah?
What was the question?
Is there anything in your life that is separating you or keeping you, like the gap between boyhood and manhood?
Right.
Yeah. I think just responsibility and intentional responsibility is key. Making sure that like I'm challenging myself, growing spiritually, potentially, well, not potentially, but just thinking long term and setting myself up for future things that may or may not happen.
For sure.
Yeah, I think just really growing in the Lord and I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of echoing what you said, John. Like
100%.
Responsibility and being intentional with that, and not backing down.
Intentionality is huge.
Yeah, and
Also
even when
discipline. I feel like
discipline. Yeah,
Intentionality, discipline, and honesty.
I'm pretty honest.
The big three.
The big three. I want to be more disciplined. You know how we were talking about the other day? How like you had the day off, but your body woke you up at 6:30.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I want that. I want
Dude, that sucked. It was Saturday. I didn't work.
That's a real thing. That's like what men do though.
Dude, I
what
wanted
mean?
to sleep.
Like they set a time each day, and they wake up. Doesn't matter what the night before was like. They wake up at that time each day.
I know I was talking to Dan Yonke maybe it was a week ago or something. And he was saying like his dad gets up at a certain time every day.
So early.
Like early, makes coffee, makes food. He'll get into work for 40 minutes each day.
Amen.
He'll read for 30 minutes
Amen.
and then go to work and then come back and
Cook.
with the family.
Take care of his family. Patrick Yonke,
Oh man.
and like I don't want to turn this into anything huge, but like I lived with their family for a little bit,
Uh huh.
and he is like a man's man.
That guy's a
Amen.
That guy is a
That's
man's
good.
man.
Good for him.
Like, I don't know.
Good for him. Just that's awesome.
He's super inspirational, encouraging, loves the Lord.
Amen.
Yeah.
And it's cool to see that in
Patrick,
other
okay.
guys too,
Mhm.
like where they're at and what, you know, I don't know, what manhood looks like in a sense.
Yeah.
What responsibility, you know, has on their lives and stuff. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. There's so much more that we could dive
There
into.
is.
There's
There's a
so
lot
many
more.
more questions and things.
There's a lot more there. We can go right back in.
I'm sure we'll cover this again in other episodes and stuff like that. This was a longer one.
This is kind of a recurring theme. Should we split this or no? Should we split it into two?
I
Who knows?
What are we at?
We're at an hour.
Hour? Like
We're at an hour? Oh my
I
gosh.
should maybe split it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
No,
We'll see.
we'll keep it. I think we should keep it.
Okay. All
The
right.
conversation flowed. People were into it. I was into it.
Yeah, me too. This is good.
Like,
Cool.
and if people want to sit through it, cool. Not cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
We out here trying to please people. That's another thing a man shouldn't do.
Ooh. Just please the Lord.
Please the Lord. Go after what the Lord is calling you to do, not man.
Is God calling us to make a podcast?
Psalm 56. For what can flesh do?
Ooh. Come on.
Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good.
That's 34.
Psalm 34.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. And with that,
Thanks for tuning in to
Where can
InHaus
they find
Podcast.
us? Where
they can find us at Instagram at InHaus Podcast, Twitter InHaus Podcast, YouTube where InHaus Podcast,
InHaus Podcast.
SoundCloud,
InHaus Podcast.
and
What did we say? Instagram? Facebook?
Facebook.
Facebook.
We're at InHaus Podcast. Guys, listen. InHaus Podcast.
Thanks, guys. See you in a couple
you.
weeks.
That was fire. That was good, guys.